So, hello there everyone and welcome, it is Niran here, and today it is time for me to bring you episode number 3 of the Players to Buy on FIFA 19 Career Mode mini-series, and of course it is exactly what it says on the tin. I bring you 10 players every single week that you guys should look into getting on FIFA 19, either because they're very good on the current game anyway and in Career Mode, or because of their performances in real life, or I guess because of both. You know, there's a lot of players that are wonder kids on FIFA 18 that are really good to pick up, but have also done so well in real life, scoring lots of goals, getting lots of man of the matches, or even being involved in major tournaments for their countries. If you go on to enjoy the video, then of course slap a like on the video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. But I want to say a massive thank you to OneFootball for sponsoring this video. It's a football news app where you can check out results and fixtures and news about your favourite teams and no one else if you want. You can also check that link down in the description below. Feel free to give it a download for all of your footballing news needs. And now I mentioned players who stood out at major tournaments, and we can only really start with one man in that sense. Lozano is the first player in this video. The Mexican winger was a shining light for the CONCACAF side in the World Cup, man. Everyone. He was the name on everybody's lips in terms of the group stages and the round of 16. Obviously, unfortunately, Mexico were knocked out by Brazil early on in the knockout stages, so we didn't really get to see too much of him. Only, I think, 4 games in the tournament, but he was so good, getting a goal and an assist in the tournament, and overall scoring 19 goals for his club side PSV Eindhoven and getting 11 assists as well in 34 appearances is absolutely insane. That obviously led to him getting a Team of the Season card for Ultimate Team as well, and generally speaking is massively sought after globally and obviously mainly in Europe by the big sides. 79 overall is the PSV winger who can play on both sides of the wing actually. High attacking work rate, 4-star weak foot, 4-star skill moves. Expect him to be at least 80. I'm not going to lie to you, on the next FIFA, expect him to be 80 or 81. He is a very talented player. So is this man here, Mokoro, the Frenchman who plays for RB Leipzig. Now this guy just looks like an absolute unit of a man. I mean, just literally just look at him. He's 76 overall, very strong, as I'm sure you could have noticed yourselves. Jumping at 81, decent sprint speed as well, very good. His passing attributes are alright for a centre-back as well, but obviously his defensive stats are going to be slightly better. This guy has had an unreal season in the Bundesliga, one of the top performing centre-backs overall in the league. He managed to pick up 3 goals as well going forward and played 41 times for RB Leipzig this season, and that is no mean feat as well. They're a very decent side. You have to be a good player to get into that team, and he certainly is that. 18 years of age and 76 overall is disgraceful. He's going to have a potential of about 87 or 88, I imagine, going forward into the next FIFA. 2-star skill moves and 3-star weak foot is pretty much irrelevant, but I guess you might want to see the weak foot for centre-backs. It's sometimes a little bit awkward if they've only got 1 star. Anyway, other end of the pitch now, and we move on to a striker, and this is Maxi Weah, the son of the legendary George Weah, the Liberian striker. Timothy was born in America, I imagine, whilst his dad was playing in what was, I think, was it even the MLS back then? It might have been like one of the original American soccer leagues, but Timothy is playing for PSG these days. He's very young, 17 years of age, 60 overall, but expect this guy to have a good potential next year because he's starting to make waves. He's already got 3 caps for the US senior side. He's 17, fam. That's absolutely insane. I don't care what nation you're playing for, and the US, you know, it's a good national team as well, so for him to be getting into that so early is very impressive. He scored goals in pre-season, he got a goal in the French version of the Community Shield, I think, and he also played 3 Ligue 1 games at the end of the season, so watch out for him starting to make waves over in France. Same for this man here, Jeremy Gelin, who plays for Stade Rennais. He's a centre-back, 70 rated, and this guy just completely broke into the starting 11 over in Ligue 1 at game week 12, I think it was, and played every single minute for his club after that. He's only 20 years of age, very decent defensive stats on this guy, and he was a very impressive player for the Ligue 1 team last year. So he had a very good season. He's a France under-21 international as well, and played every minute, man, every minute. And Rennes, again, it's a good side. It's a very decent team. He is very highly rated over in France. As far as I'm aware, he still plays for Rennes. I don't think he's moved, but correct me if I am wrong. I think he's going to be the Joris Nanon, basically. basically. If you cast your minds back to this time last year, and there was a very decent performing centre-back for Rennes last year, it was Joris Nanon. I think he's moved on to a different team now, so I think he is literally the replacement for him as far as his club is concerned. I think he'll have about 82 or 83 potential going forward into FIFA 19. This man here, though, is going to be probably closing in on the 90s, if not with 90 potential. Malcom, the Brazilian, has swapped Bordeaux for Barcelona, though at one point it looked as if he was going to go to Roma. In the end, the Spanish giants snatched him from under the noses of the Italian side. He played 38 games in Ligue 1 last year, got 12 goals and 8 assists, and you can see by his attributes, he's so good at so much. Very pacey, very good dribbling, ball control, short passing, and his long shots are insane. I mean, he scored a ridiculous long shot during the course from last year, probably a couple actually, but there was one that I saw where he cut in from the right-hand side and hammered one in from about 35 yards. Very, very good shot power on this kid, and he's very fun to use as well, because he's so skillful. You know, pacey, good dribbling, good long shots. It's what you want really from a winger. 82 overall, expect him to have 89 or at least maybe even 90 potential on FIFA 19. High attacking work rate, 4-star weak foot, 4-star skill moves, and he is going to be very good. Obviously, again, you can't pick him up in the first transfer window because he's just been signed by Barcelona, but after that, he is fair game. Phil Foden is next up, and I did a predictions video actually in terms of his rating. It might actually have to be boosted from what I thought it was going to be. I thought he'd be about 70 rated for FIFA 19, but given he's started to break into the Man City team, he played in the Community Shield and got an assist for Sergio Aguero's opener against Chelsea, he might even start reaching 71 or 72 by the time FIFA 19 is coming out. He's an attacking mid who can also play slightly behind that, 17 years of age, he's 69 overall and has a potential of I think mid-80s already, and he managed to grab, I think it was 6 goals and 5 assists in just 11 games in the reserve version of the Premier League, so EPL 2, so like the junior version of the Premier League. At 17 years of age, that is insane in such a short space of time, and he also made 3 Champions League appearances for Manchester City last year as well, so highly rated by Pep. 3-star weak foot, 3-star skill moves, watch out for him, very, very talented young Englishman. Another very young talented player here is Maxi Gomez from Celta Vigo. More fuss should be being made of this kid, I swear. I don't hear anyone talk about him, like, who's outside of Spain. But look, like, listen to this, right? In La Liga, in a very difficult league, as a 20-year-old playing for what can only be described as a mid-table Spanish side, really, he managed to grab 18 goals and 5 assists in his first season. That is absolute madness. I'm sorry, that's ridiculous for a player of that age. And look at his finishing as well. For a 78 overall player who's just 20, to have 85 finishing already is disgusting. He is clinical and a half. If you were to have him for like a season and a bit, he'd have like 90 finishing. That is absolutely disgusting. So if you want a very clinical player, go for this guy, Maxi Gomez from Celta Vigo. Very good season and looks like he's going to be a very decent player in future. Moving to another sort of under the radar guy, a bit more so in this sense, but Robert Gumny, the right back from Lech Poznan over in the Polish league, looks as if he could be quite a decent player and probably a bit more of a cheap one because he's playing in a slightly lesser known league. Very pacey fullback, decent stamina and agility on this guy as well. 68 overall and 19 years of age, and his potential is already between 80 and 82. So I don't expect it to change all that much going forward into FIFA. And realistically, you could probably pick him up for below £3 million. So if you're a Premier League side with not too much money, or you're a Championship side, I'd definitely go in for this guy if you need a right back or a full back of any kind. Looks as if he's going to be very decent. He was a starting 11 player throughout the entirety of Lech Poznan's season. Now, you know, again, people might be like, it's only the Polish league. It's still an alright league. And to be playing as a starting 11 player for any team at 19 is pretty impressive. He was also part of their Europa League qualifying campaign as well, so he's been watched by many on the European stage. But ultimate player is another one of those. Federico Chiesa has been attracting a lot of attention after a couple of really good seasons for Fiorentina. 77 rated at 19 years of age is very, very good indeed, and he has a very good potential. I think it's about 86 or 87 at the moment, but I think it might get boosted going into next year, because again, had a very, very good season. 80 dribbling and ball control on this guy, as well as decent shot power and long shots, as well as short passing. You can see his dark green stats on his agility, balance, and speed on the physicals page, but 77 overall at 19 is very, very good, and expect him to be a little bit better maybe next season. 38 appearances for Fiorentina last year, 6 goals and 9 assists. just an overall very, very impressive player. Defensive work rate, interestingly, is high, whereas his attacking work rate is only medium. So if you want someone who's going to track back, Federico Chiesa is your man. 3-star skill moves and 4-star weak foot for the Italian. And the final player in this video is Toon Choo. I don't know if I pronounced his first name right, but 72 rated central midfielder / holding midfielder from AZ Alkmaar. Another player who's probably gone quite under the radar unless you watch the Eredivisie, but he had a very good season statistically. He managed to grab 6 assists last year, and he's already scored once in his first game for AZ Alkmaar. This year, I think it was in Europa League qualifying once again. So he might be a pretty decent player. He's 72 overall, 19 years of age, so, you know, if with training, it could easily grow him by at least 10 or 11, even if his potential is only something like 80, which I think is what it is right now. I think his potential is 80, but after a pretty solid season for the Dutch side, I imagine it might get boosted to something like 81 or 82. So again, you know, these don't have to be blockbuster players. If you're using a mid-table Premier League side, this guy is going to be a really, really good signing on the cheap. 2-star skill moves is a little bit of a disappointment, but 3-star weak foot is not too bad. Medium attacking and defensive work rate. But that wraps up the 10 players in today's episode of Players to Buy for FIFA 19 Career Mode. Plenty of really good players and a bit of variety as well, as opposed to big players for big teams and also under the radar players that you can sign in slightly smaller teams. If you enjoyed that though, slap a like on the video and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. It's the big red button under the video and it really, really helps me out. You can also follow me on social media these days too. My Twitter handle is @theofficialfng, links are down below and my Insta is the same. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a great day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.